Radio Live is made possible with support from Autumn Beck Blackledge, attorneys of divorce and family law, offering resolutions to complex family issues. Support also comes from Kevin Ryan, financial advisor at Merrill Lynch in downtown Pensacola, with advice for what matters most when you need it most. Details available by Googling Kevin Ryan, Merrill Lynch. Accommodations for Radio Live artists provided by PensacolaBeach.com, an all-in-one website for all things Pensacola Beach. To review rates on hotels, book tours and activities, see upcoming events, and view the latest beach report, visit PensacolaBeach.com.
From the heart of Florida's great Northwest, it's radio. Indeed it is. This is Pat Crawford, hoping you'll stay with us for the next 90 minutes of music and conversation here aboard our stage studio located in the beautiful Museum of Commerce in Pensacola's historic village. And what a fantastic audience we have tonight. Yeah, absolutely. The love is flowing in this place tonight, and that's great. And for good reason. We have a fabulous lineup of artists tonight. Some of our Radio Live favorites are on the show tonight, and we're so glad to have them all here. We're going to start out with Mr. Joe Crookston, songwriter, guitarist, painter, fiddler, slide player, Eco-Village member, and believer in all things possible. Named the 2016 Folk Alliance International Artist in Resident, Joe has played with Suzanne Vega, Dar Williams, David Francie, John McCutcheon, John Gorka, Judy Collins, and many more. His songs are cinematic. He's also an experienced facilitator and has taught at many retreats, including Summer Songs, the Swananoa Gathering in North Carolina, and the yearly Quaker Gathering in Rhode Island. He lives in New York and tours regularly in the United States, Ireland, and Canada. His music and performances receive critical acclaim. Sing Out magazine says, with all the performers out there, an artist has to go beyond good, and Joe does it. My favorite quote about him, however, is, "I hate folk music, but I absolutely love Joe Crookston's music." Please join me in welcoming Joe Crookston.
Pensacola. We're going to start out slow and sad, and then we're going to build into a crescendo of ecstasy. Here we go. Glad to be here with you all. Look at those kids running. Look at that sky. Feel the breeze. And starlings fly. Feel the ground. Touch the air. Imagine that we're still here. Divide and conquer, we're better than this. I'm looking for you, I'm looking for yes. And hearts will break, life brings you down. Hold on, turn it around, turn it around. Red-winged blackbird in an olive tree. Mercy now, I still believe. In the city windows, all the people inside, all little miracles. They struggle and try, they struggle and try. And it's good to claim all we deserve. It's a beautiful world, despite all we've heard. It's a beautiful world, tonight all we've heard. And look at those kids running, look at that sky. Feel the breeze and starlings fly. Imagine that we're still here. Thank you very much. I love it here. WUWF Radio. Yeah. You guys are programmed. This song is called Fall Down as the Rain. Someone asked me if I'd play it tonight. I said no. Then I changed my mind. Here we go. When my life is over and I have gone away, I'm gonna leave this big old world and the trouble and the pain. And if I get to heaven, I will not stay. I'll turn myself around again and fall down as the rain. When I finally reach the ground, I'll soak into the side. I'll turn myself around again, come up as goldenrod. Come up as goldenrod, come up as goldenrod. I'll turn myself around again, come up as goldenrod. Come up as goldenrod, come up as goldenrod. I'll turn myself around again, come up as goldenrod. When I turn dry and brown, I'll lay me down to rest. I'll turn myself around again as part of an eagle's nest. Part of an eagle's nest, part of an eagle's nest. I'll turn myself around again as part of an eagle's nest. Here we go. Part of an eagle's nest, part of an eagle's nest. I'll turn myself around again as part of an eagle's nest. that eagle learns to fly, I'll flutter from that tree. I'll turn myself around again as part of the mystery. Part of the mystery, part of the mystery. I'll turn myself around again as part of the mystery. When my life is over and I have gone away, I'm gonna leave this big old world and the trouble and the pain. And if I get to heaven, I will not stay. I'll turn myself around again and fall down as the rain. You wanna sing it? Come on. Fall down as the rain, fall down as the rain. I'll turn myself around again and fall down as the rain, fall down as the rain. Turn myself around again and fall down as the rain. Very much. So nice to be here playing, and drove down from Ithaca, New York, and yeah, we got one person who likes Ithaca, New York over there. Woo, really likes it too. And well, I live in Zone 5 of the gardening. In Zone 5, we got any gardeners here? Anybody? Yeah, right. Anybody plant garlic? Any garlic planter? We got one person who plants garlic over here. And if you plant garlic, you know that you put the garlic bulbs in November, late November. So when I get home from this tour, I'm going to put my garlic in, and then it winters over underneath the soil, and sometime in March, the little green sprouts come up, and then sometime in July, you harvest the garlic. And that's the way garlic is grown. And I was together with my wife for 19 years. And we always celebrated Pride Month and everything in June. And this last June, she got real into it. And so into it that I haven't seen her since. And so I've been missing her. And I was thinking that her and I, for 19 years, we had a little tradition of planting garlic in November. And we always got in some big fight when we were putting in the garlic. But we would keep putting it in every year. So I decided, feeling sorry for myself, that I'd write a song called Garlic. And I'm going to sing you Garlic. Every year we planted in the fall, covered the garlic up with straw. We would laugh about the tears. We'd push the bulbs down in the dirt. We would joke about the hurt and how we'll try another year. And now they're buried underneath the winter soil and all the grief. We tried our best to make it through. And maybe spring will bring the rain and feed the shoots and wash the pain away from me and you. And maybe spring will bring the rain and wash away the pain. We tried our best to make it through, me and you. spring after the snow, we tend and give 'em room to grow. Little green and sprouting proudly, they were reaching for the sun. You and me had come undone. Now we split the bounty. In the spring, after the snow, we'd give 'em room to grow. We tried our best to make it through, me and you. Now I work the autumn lands with newer dreams and different hands as we turn toward December. And in the spring they'll poke above and maybe teach us about love, so we can lean into the splendor. And in the spring they'll poke above, maybe teach us about love. We tried our best to make it through, me and you. Every year we planted in the fall, covered the garlic up with straw.
Thank you so much. Great to be here with y'all.
Thank you, Joe. Joe Crookston, and Joe will be back with us in the second half of the program. The program is Radio Live, coming to you live tonight from the Museum of Commerce in Pensacola's historic village. Radio Live is made possible with support from Autumn Beck Blackledge, attorneys of divorce and family law, offering resolutions to complex family issues. Information is available online at autumnobeck.com. All right. This gentleman, Grammy Award-winning guitarist Ed Gerhard, has graced our stage more times than any artist. Look at that, look at that. Appearing on one of our early programs shortly after the release of his debut album, Nightbirds, which garnered a spot in the Boston Globe Critics Poll Top 10 Albums of the Year. Since that time, he has become literally a true guitar legend, touring the world from Tokyo to Rome and everywhere in between, but always making his annual winter pilgrimage, except during COVID, to Pensacola. He was awarded a Grammy for his inclusion on the CD Henry Mancini Pink Guitar, and his guitar work can be heard in the Ken Burns films Mark Twain and the National Parks, America's Best Idea. In a true collaboration of guitarist and guitar maker, Breedlove Guitars created the Ed Gerhard signature model guitar, which has become one of their best-selling guitars and won the Player's Choice Award by Acoustic Guitar Magazine. They followed up on that successful collaboration by releasing a Gerhard Wiesenborn copy. Please welcome our friend, Mr. Ed Gerhard.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, everybody. Well, it sure is good to be back here. I was supposed to be here last year, and the COVID thing happened. I had to cancel. I hate that. It's really made life difficult for a lot of us, but I'm glad that we're able to gather safely, it seems, once again. I know I've gotten a few comments, and I'll probably get some more before the end of the night. Yes, I did cut my hair. Well, I didn't personally cut it, but I used to go for like a lot of depth, and now I'm going for more elevation in this. So I might grow it back. I don't know. I get a lot of grief about it either way. It's just still the same idiot underneath. Thank you. That was one of my tunes called Brothers. Perching on I don't like sitting on a stool. It's like, I think last time I was here, I was talking about a guy that when I was over in Japan, I'd read about in the news that he was discovered stealing bicycle seats. They saw him on a surveillance camera stealing bicycle seats outside a train station. And I went back and looked at cameras, camera footage from previous nights. It turns out every night the guy's been showing up at train stations stealing bicycle seats. They tracked him down and found he led him to a warehouse where he had a big storage facility where there was like 6,000 bicycle seats that he'd stolen. And I always sort of compare sitting on a stool to sitting on a seatless bicycle. Here's a great song by a guy named Rolly Sally called Killing the Blues. Thank you so much. I haven't been writing much lately, over the last few years. But I have been acquainting myself and reacquainting myself with the work of some of the great songwriters of the world. And been planning for years to do a record of all cover tunes. Almost seems like an insult to call them cover tunes. Arrangements of some of the classic folk songs and pop songs. And this has been one of my favorites for years and years and years. I'll give her another go here. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Ed. Ed Gerhard, he will also be back with us. Ed, sorry about the stool, man, but, you know, we wanted to put you on a pedestal. All right, you're listening to Radio Live. Radio Live is made possible with support from Kevin Ryan, financial advisor at Merrill Lynch in downtown Pensacola. With advice for what matters most when you need it most, details available by Googling Kevin Ryan, Merrill Lynch. All right. Amy Speace, what can I say? She got her start in New York City as a classically trained actress with the National Shakespeare Company before moving on to the coffee houses of Greenwich Village, where she began playing her original songs and was discovered literally by Judy Collins. She's been featured on NPR's All Things Considered and is an audience favorite with her many performances on NPR's Mountain Stage, as well as festivals and venues around the world. Her song, Me and the Ghost of Charlemagne, was named International Song of the Year at the 2020 Americana Fest UK. Yeah. She's also a teacher of songwriting and performance, having taught at Berklee College of Music, Rocky Mountain Folk Festival, Song School, Kerrville Folk Festival Song School, and others. While most songwriters find inspiration for their music from their own life experiences, Amy takes that to the next level. Listening to her albums is like a sonic autobiography, beautifully written and perfectly orchestrated. So pay attention and join me in welcoming Amy Speace.
Driving with the top down, baby blue Pontiac, 10 feet off the ground, my brother and me in the back. I'm heading on down the trail. Heading on down the trail. Mama was in the front, her hair coming loose from the pins, Bible in her gloved hands, her eyes closed against the wind. I'm heading on down the trail. I'm heading on down the trail. I once had a dream. They were just out of reach. Tonight the room is quiet. The lights are low like a wish. Everyone's come who is coming. Got everything crossed off my list. Daughter, my heart is steady. Daughter, I've gotta go. Daughter, my heart is ready for that trail to take me home. I'm heading on down the trail. I'm heading on down the trail. 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 Driving with the top down, baby blue Pontiac, 10 feet off the ground, my brother and me in the back.
Thank you so much.
Hey, everybody. Just, checking the crowd out. You guys look good. Everyone dressed up? Brushed your hair, brushed your teeth. I mean, I don't know. I'm not near enough to know that. There used to be horses here, where the grass was left to grow wild, behind the white picket fence. that seemed to go on for a mile. There used to be horses here on the way up Yellow Springs Road, beautiful amber manes with the sun gleaming off of their coats. And I wanted to see them that day in October, running fast up the hill to the sky. I wanted to see them in perfect formation one more time, one more time. There used to be horses here. My father knew the owner from church. They've torn down the old brick house. Now there's just a big hole in the earth. And I wanted to see them that day in October, running fast up the hill to the sky. I wanted to see them in perfect formation one more time, one more time. There used to be horses here when Dad had his house in the trees. Wherever they took them, well, I hope it's a place they run free. 'Cause I wanted to see them that day in October, running fast up the hill to the sky. I wanted to see them in perfect formation one more time. Oh, I came back to see him so I could remember the faded blue of his eyes. I wanted to see him fly off to forever one more time, one more time. One more time. One more time. There used to be horses here. One more time. There used to be horses here.
Thank you.
I put out a record in 2021, April 2021, that was called There Used to Be Horses Here, and all the songs were written between my son's first birthday and my father's passing. And actually, it's a super fun, happy summer driving record. Swear to God, it's a gospel record. But I want to just contextualize that first song for you because I love this story, the song called Down the Trail. So my father, who was a real storyteller, he found out he had cancer and it was going to be a short thing, so I spent the whole summer with my son at the time, going up and back between Nashville, where I live, and Maryland, where he lives. And I happened to be fortunate enough to be there the week before he passed. And so I'd sit up with him, and he would tell me stories about his life, and you know, he's slightly arrogant because he would tell me these stories, and he'd say, "You better write an album about me." And I did. But he was telling me this story about driving along with his mother in the front, and he and his twin brother in the back of this baby blue Pontiac convertible in the fields of the farmlands that they grew up in Elkton, Maryland, this little tiny town in the Eastern Shore. And so the night before he passed, I was sitting in his bed, and he was on morphine, so he hadn't spoken in a couple days, and he sat up in bed and he went, I've got to go down the trail. Now, 10 years prior, his identical twin brother had had a massive heart attack, and the whole medical team thought he would make it. But my dad went home that night before he passed and had a dream that my Uncle Will and my grandmother were walking down a trail in front of him, and my Uncle Will turned to my father and said, "No, Dan, it's not your time to go down the trail." So when my father said, "I've got to go down that trail," I knew what he was talking about. Those happened to be his last words. I feel really blessed that I was there to catch him. Although since nobody's there, I could have made that whole thing up for you. This song is also on the record. All I had was the idea for a funeral song that was happy and filled with gospel, Southern gospel grit, called Hallelujah Train. But I was afraid that I couldn't write it because I grew up Catholic, so I've never read the Bible. Because Catholics don't read the Bible, we have it read to us while we're sleeping in church. So I wrote this song with a friend of mine from Kentucky who's Pentecostal, and he gave me all the serious, gritty, snake-handling language. It's called Hallelujah Train. Steel on steel, chug-a-chug-a-wheel, steam rising high, high above the hills. Hear the trumpet blow, everyone aboard, roaring like a lion, calling out my soul. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. I'm gonna ride that hallelujah train. Heading up on yonder, came through Galilee, bound through New Jerusalem, gonna meet my King. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Ooh, oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Gonna ride that hallelujah train. Seals are breaking open, fire coming down, smoking prayer to heaven, hearing an angel's sound. Ooh, oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Gonna ride that hallelujah train. Gonna ride that hallelujah train. Gonna ride that hallelujah train.
Thank you, Amy. All right. Amy Speace will be back with us as well in the second half. This is the halfway point of the show tonight, but we got no intermission because we're going to just keep rolling along with these wonderful, wonderful artists. Just want to remind you, if you're listening tonight, wherever, we do this program the first Thursday of every month. If you want to be a part of the live audience, you can buy your tickets online at wuwf.org. And they go on sale tomorrow, as a matter of fact, for the December show. So you might want to do that because the shows have been selling out. Get your tickets now, and hopefully you can be here with us live audience next month as well. All right. Joining us once again. But first, I need to remind you of something. I need to remind you that support for Radio Live comes from our Radio Live 25, those dedicated individuals who are major supporters of the show, and we appreciate them for that and thank them for their generosity. So let's hear it for the Radio Live 25. And now Joe Crookston's back. Now, Joe Crookston actually has family really close by. In fact, some of them are actually here tonight. But this was a great opportunity for them to have a little reunion at the show. But they live just over the state line over there in Alabama. We're glad to have them with us tonight as well. Once again, Mr. Joe Crookston.
Yes. My sister Dee and my nieces and nephew over there. Good. I'm so glad they're here. And well, we grew up in a house. My mom was a songwriter, and she wrote over 100 songs in her life. And she just, I thought she was kind of a dorky, three chords, G, C, D, E minor, that kind of thing, And I sat down next to a friend of mine who I got to know freshman year in high school. His name was Don. He's learning how to play Neil Young songs. And he said, "Joe, do you play guitar?" I said, "No, but my mom does. She just plays these dorky little, folk songs." And I said, with like a G, a C, an occasional E minor, that kind of thing. And I said, what are the chords in that Neil Young song? He said, G, C, an occasional E minor. So I thought she was pretty cool. So I went home and I learned how to play guitar. And when she passed away in 2003, I got her old D18 Martin guitar, but it sounded like crap. Terrible guitar, horrible. And I was working in a studio in Philadelphia with a guy who was a great lap steel slide player. He said, "You ought to take that old guitar of your mom's and turn it into a slide. It might sound good." I said, "What do you mean? How do you do that?" He said, "It's easy. You get a nut extender and some finger picks and a metal slide, and then you raise it up so you can play it like a slide like that." And I looked at him. I said, "A nut what?" He said, a nut extender. So I went home and I Googled nut extender. That was weird. I'm going to play you some slide here. This is a rattlesnake song. I collect rattlesnake tails, and I put them in my instruments, and it's supposed to keep the devil away, but it hasn't helped yet. Here we go. Well, I met a girl from Orangeburg, and she was a queen. She's a little bit lovely, she's a little bit mean. She walked in the room in a ruby red dress, across the floor with a gracefulness. She said hi, and I said yes. She walked in the room in a ruby red dress. She's a little bit lovely, she's a little bit mean. She's an angel, she's a rattlesnake somewhere in between. Rarest bird that I'd ever seen. She's a little bit lovely, she's a little bit mean. She asked me to dance and I felt like a king. She told me that I was the sweetest thing. We walked to the meadow where the honeysuckle grows, where the jasmine blooms and the moonlight glows. And we swam in the river without any clothes. And we slept in the meadow where the honeysuckle grows. She's a little bit lovely, she's a little bit mean. She's an angel, she's a rattlesnake somewhere in between. The rarest bird that I'd ever seen. She's a little bit lovely and a little bit mean. She asked me to dance. Moon and the sun rose like fire in the cool morning air. And I turned to my love, but she wasn't there. And I looked in the pines and along the fence rail, and I called out her name to no avail. On a rock in the grass where we slept by the trail was a ruby red dress and a rattlesnake tail. She's a little bit lovely, she's a little bit mean. She's an angel, she's a rattlesnake somewhere in between. The rarest bird that I'd ever seen. She's a little bit lovely, and she's a little bit mean. Thank you so much. Well, I'm gonna do 3.5 songs. See how this goes. And I don't write a lot in 3/4 time, waltzes. I realized I don't have very many waltzes, so I decided to write a waltz. I'm gonna play you half of it. And this isn't one of those waltzes where the beautiful couple is spinning around, gazing into each other's eyes. This is the single person's waltz. This is the waltz for one, Yeah, right? Come on, give me a hand. There you go. 1, 2, here we go. So, if you're with your sweetie, this is not for you. I was hoping we'd make it. Now I know that we won't. I was thinking I'd miss you, but it turns out I don't. And I imagine the worst case with a heart filled with woe, but the easiest part has been letting you go. The easiest part has been letting you go. And oh, 1, 2, 3, look at me doing just fine. Oh, 3, 2, 1, yeah, this is my time. Now I'm waltzing in the kitchen, but I ain't got the blues. I'd rather be here alone than being unloved with you. I tried all my best jokes, but you never would laugh. Now I'm cracking me up, I'm my own better half. I'm cracking me up, I'm my own better half. And oh, 1, 2, 3, look at me doing just fine. That's your part. Oh, 3, 2, 1, yeah, this is my time. I was hoping we'd make it, now I know that we won't. And I was thinking I'd miss you, and it turns out I don't. Now, my name is Joe. I was named after my grandfather, Joe Knapp. Joe Knapp lived until he was 98 years old. He worked full-time at a glue factory in Kenmore, Ohio, until he was 96 years old. And he was forced to retire by my dad, who was retired and driving his father-in-law to work and back every day. And finally, my dad is like, "You're making me look bad," and he made him retire at 96. He worked at a glue factory. He drank a 6-pack of Schlitz every day and smoked a pack of cigarettes every day. So all you gluten-free, paleo, health food freaks, I say, give it up, smoke, drink, sniff glue, you'll be just fine. I was at home with my grandpa. He was in World War II. He was a Seabee in the Navy. And he took me out into the garage one afternoon, and he sat there for about 3 hours with me on lawn chairs, telling me about being on Tinian Island in the South Pacific during World War II as a Seabee. And how him and his battalion guys built 4 runways on Tinian Island, one of which the Enola Gay took off from when it flew over Hiroshima. And he told me the story. I learned a lot about the history of that. And I wrote this song called Abel, Baker, Charlie, and Dog. And I'd like to sing it for you all. My grandpa never heard it, but it's imagine him singing it with a cigarette in one hand and a Schlitz in the other hand, telling his story. Abel, Baker, Charlie, and Dog. My baby girl was born in 1943, the year before the Navy shipped me out and overseas. So I held her and kissed her, and I said my goodbyes, leaving Virginia with 1,000 other guys. Leaving Virginia in the South Pacific, beneath the blistering sun, on Tinian Island there was work to be done. 4,000 Navy Seabees on the ground, crushing up coral and packing it down, crushing and packing it down. They never told us, forbidden to ask. They handed down the orders, and we finished the task. We never knew what the runways were for. They said our job would be the one to end the war. Now the Seabees work like hell till the work gets done. We built 4 long runways laid straighter than guns, and the runways they glitter in the sunshine and fog, named Abel and Baker and Charlie and Dog. Abel, Baker, Charlie and Dog, and the diggers and the cranes and my battalion guys. We paved the way to the Japanese skies, 8,500 feet, made of coral and clay. We built them all in just 53 days. We built them in 53 days. They never told us, forbidden to ask. They handed down the orders, and finish the task. We never knew what the runways were for. They said our job would be the one to end the war. Now the rumors, they flew around Tinian. None of us ever had a clue what Enola Gay and little boy would do. In the early August heat, we all got the news that the runways we built were the runways they used. Abel, Baker, Charlie, and Dog. Abel, Baker, Charlie, and Dog.
Thank you so much. So great to be here with Amy Speace and Ed Gerhard. Beautiful musicians and people. Great to see you both. And I'm going to just sing the short version of this one here. This song is called Good Luck, John. Oh, there's the backup track. John had a horse, and the horse ran away. Bad luck, bad luck. John had a horse, and the horse ran away. Bad, bad luck. Bad, bad luck, the neighbors would say. Bad luck, John, has come your way. Bad luck has come your way. And he said, maybe, it's hard to say. Well, the horse came back with a wild mare. Good luck, good luck. The horse came back with a pretty white mare. Good, good luck. Good, good luck, the neighbors would say. Good luck, John, has come your way. Good luck has come your way. He said, maybe, it's hard to say. Well, the mare kicked John and broke his leg. Bad luck, bad luck. The pretty white mare broke John's leg. Bad, bad luck. Bad, bad luck, the neighbors would say. Bad luck, John, has come your way. Bad luck has come your way. What'd he say? He said, maybe, it's hard to say. What'd he say? He said, maybe, it's hard to say. With a broken leg, he missed the draft. Good luck, good luck. Well, the army came and walked on past. Good, good luck. Good, good luck, the neighbors would say. Good luck, John, has come your way. Good luck has come your way. What he said? He said, maybe, it's hard to say. Come on. He said, maybe, it's hard to say. Leg grew worse and it would not heal. Bad luck, bad luck. And the pain was all that John could feel. Bad, bad luck. Bad, bad luck, the neighbors would say. Bad luck, John, has come your way. Bad luck has come your way. He said, maybe, it's hard to say. Yeah, come on. He said, maybe, it's hard to say. Well, the nurse, she came to take care of. Good luck, good luck. And the two of them, they fell in love. Good, good luck, come on. Good, good luck, the neighbors would say. Good luck, John, has come your way. Good luck has come your way. He said, maybe, it's hard to say. Come on. He said, maybe, it's hard. And one more time, sound good. Maybe, it's hard to Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe Crookston. Getting us all singing tonight. This is awesome. Are you all having a good time? Of course you are. Once again, our friend Ed Gerhard approaches the pedestal makes it as comfortable as possible. We'll remember this next time. I'll bring a high chair. How about that? Is that better?
I'll bring my own bib.
Awesome. Once again, our good friend, Ed Gerhard.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, everybody. It sure is good to be back here in Pensacola. I've really missed you guys a lot. You know, so many wonderful friends at WWF. It's been, what, 2.5 years since I've been here, and before that, well, I missed you too. I sure truly did. Christina's here from the Pensacola Beach Hilton there. Yeah, good. Those folks have treated me good for quite a number of years now, and so I want to give a shout out to you and to all of them. Okay, let's see if I can get comfortable here on my pedestal. Pat, how about a throne maybe next time? Or a litter, you know, something with some class here. Thank you. It's one of those old folks, and it's got a little bit of everything you want, you know. Crime, drugs, prostitution. You know. And some of the songs are, you know, a million verses long. They just find a good melody and keep writing verses to it. Kind of like one of those telephone poles with all the missing dog posters to it, and you stuck to it. A couple more old folk songs that I originally was thinking I was doing that old great song, Rye Whiskey. And what I was playing actually was Farewell to Tarwathie, an old Scottish song. And they have almost identical rhythmic structures to the melody, so it was an easy mistake for a pinhead like me to make. But when I realized it, I said, oh, I better fix that, so I just put a little nugget of the Rye Whiskey melody in the middle of it. So I call it Rye Whiskey Mash. That's how the folk process works for me. And even though it's got, it's some prophetic warnings, like, if I don't get rye whiskey, I surely will die, I still look at it as an upbeat song. Foreign songs about whiskey, Scottish songs, English songs, they're almost all like happy songs about whiskey. We don't have that being in our culture, so I thought I'd try and, rectify that any way I could. Fortunately, it's instrumental, so one can draw one's own conclusions about it. Thank you. Whiskey. I got attacked by one of my guitar stands earlier tonight and ripped myself open. I don't like to freak my wife out. So I'm trying to race to the bathroom with literally a palm full of blood. But I get this stuff called new skin, and you can repair yourself, just like, bondoing a car or something. That shark took a piece out of me, but hell, you can't even tell. That's, especially as you get older, the little aches and pains, and when they start occurring in your hands, you have to sort of practice like you're an athlete, you know. Okay, when I do this thing, it's going to hurt, so, you know, try not to wince. Yeah. But it's a relatively safe profession, I think. It's, you know, an athlete's career is over, what, 10 years maybe? If tennis players, maybe 20. I don't know, some musicians maybe it lasts a year, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, I'll finish up with a song here that's a wonderful old love song from Fiji. It's called Isolé. And the guy in the song is saying goodbye to someone a woman he's never going to see again. She's leaving Suva Bay. And the lyrics are sad, but the melody's almost kind of happy. And I like the irony of that. Maybe it's like he doesn't want to give her the satisfaction or something, or he doesn't want to make her suffer with his pain. But playing stuff that's got that sense of irony instrumentally for me is really, really a wonderful challenge. It's a lot of fun. And to play something as beautiful as Isolé, I just love it. And I love you all. Thank you so much. I mean, and I mean that too. It means the world to me to come see all of you and play music to you. Thank you, Tom, for doing a nice job on the sound. Yeah, that's it. And Pat for being such a great MC, even though he likes to dig at me once in a while. You know, I've worked with a lot of MCs in my career, a lot of them, and some really high-level MCs. And Pat, you're right up there, man. Isolé. Thank you, everybody. Thanks a million, everybody. I hope I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Ed. Mr. Ed Gerhard. All right, just a reminder, today is sort of the beginning of a festival weekend here in Pensacola. The Great Gulf Coast Arts Festival starts officially tomorrow morning. We are heavily involved in the festival, have been for many, many, many years. We run the main stage, and we have a lot of artists that you're going to be able to enjoy over the weekend. Folks that you're familiar with if you come to this show regularly or listen to it. In fact, Amy Speace will be performing at the Great Gulf Coast Arts Festival on Sunday, right before the Pensacola Symphony. So it'll be a fantastic day for all. But right now, we get to enjoy another set from Amy. Once again, Amy Speace.
Sit the sea to the shore when the evening tide came in. I am here to tell you tales of where I've been. Into shells I whispered my love songs in secret rhyme, and left them at your door for you to find. Tempered the force of my waves when your gods would roar, and took care of the ships full of men that you sent off to war. And I've longed for you for so long, said the sea to the shore. Said the shore to the sea, you left me here too long, that I was promised to the moon while you were gone. He waited until the brightest night to demand my hand under his fullest light, and promised he'd always stay and watch over me. Oh, why did you wait till now, said the shore to the sea. Said the sea to the shore, I swore that I'd return. Yes, and here I am with all that I have learned. Oh, I can hold you now with arms of foam and spray, touching you at the coming of dusk and the breaking of day, smoothing out the folds on every stone. Said the sea to the shore, don't leave me here alone. Said the shore to the sea, you said all these things before, and I tell you, I can't hear them anymore. Oh, there was a time once I'd have given in. I'd hear your savage whitecaps rolling in. Your troughs would come up slow beneath my chin, and your mist would kiss me softly on my skin, leaving salty trails where you had been. And my legs would give out in your undertow. Oh, but see, that was a long, long time ago. So the sea took one last look and turned away, and the shore was more than strong enough to stay, and castles melted back onto the sand, driftwood drifted up under the land, rocks rose up proud in shiny skin, and shells began their gossiping again.
Thank you so much.
Wow, it is an honor to be on this stage with Ed and Joe. Real honor. I've cried 5 times backstage and quit guitar. Right? I mean, when you're playing with those guys, you're like, I better bring some songs. I'm bringing songs, people. It is so good to be back here. Pat, thanks for having me. I was also booked during the pandemic, and we had to put this off. And I don't know how many times I've played this, but I love this audience, and I love this radio station. Thank you so much. So because you are the favorite, my favorite audience ever, Pensacola, I'm going to play you a brand new song. This one has not been recorded. I'm hoping that I start making a new record soon, and if so, this may actually be the title track. I lived in New York City for 20 years. 15 years ago, I moved to Nashville. And I don't usually write about place. I write about internal things. I write about things that don't work out, usually longings and things like that. I mean, songs, right? Happy songs don't make any money. But I've started being interested in my days back in New York City, and this song, honestly, most songs take me a long time to write. I'll come up with an idea, like Seeing the Shore. I came up with the idea of these two elements at war with each other, but they wanted to be together. And it came out of a love story of my own, being in a waiting period for somebody to choose or not choose. And then my friend Robbie and I, we wrote this together, we decided to put it into a metaphor. And then we wrote about 25 verses because it just kept spilling out. It took us months and months and months of editing to get that song right. That's kind of how I write. The initial idea spills out, and then I like whittle at it for months. I'm a nitpicky editor. I'll like stress over and or but. But admittedly, this song spilled out in one night. And I've decided that I love it. So this is called In New York City. And I hope now I can play it, because after that intro, don't sit there and judge. I had stumbled down Hudson from the meatpacking district toward the studio flat that I shared with a friend. My bed against the window with bars to the streets, impatiently wanting my life to begin. Surrounded by photos, my first love from college. One night I got high and took someone else home. I broke an engagement too poor for a ring. I was 23 thinking I'd die alone. On to an apartment in the East Village, 11th and 1st, where cabs idled in line. Drug dealers owned all the corners at night. I could barely afford it, but it was all mine. That was my life in my 20s and 30s. I walked through Manhattan and never got tired. Used books on the streets, in bins for $1, speakeasies with sawdust, and dogs by the fire in New York City. Now a few years later, I was living in Brooklyn, married, divorced. I'd moved out on my own to a basement apartment that faced the cathedral, a narrow backyard made of round paving stones where I planted a garden of roses and thyme, spent mornings in prayer with coffee and clouds, wrote everything down in a flurry of heartbreak, sang all of my sadness for crowds in New York City. Now I'm far from the city and far from the village. My favorite cafe was turned into a chain where I'd sit in the corner and write out my verses, stretching my coffee and watching the rain. But now I know what age does to memory. It softens the edges till everything's blurred. It fills in the gaps with regret and romance. Am I really that many years from that girl? Well, there's lines on my face and my brown hair is gray, but I look at the photos from decades ago. There's something about her I may have lost, but there's still so much I want to know. In New York City,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. In 2017, I was touring in Europe, and I was about 49 years old and about to go home and try to have a baby because I'm crazy. And so on this tour, I kind of thought this might be the end because I didn't know at my age if when I had a baby, I'd just want to stay home forever and cuddle my little one and never, ever go back out on the road again. So I was out there, and I happened to be in this little town called Aachen, Germany. And it was this beautiful little town, and like when you're touring around the country or another country, people are always telling you about their town, and like, oh, you're here, you need to see this place, or you need to see this place, and you wish you could, but you're traveling from one place to another, to another, to another, and you're just sort of waving at Switzerland on the way by. But they told me that Aachen, Germany is where the Emperor Charlemagne was born and died, and that his bones were interred in the cathedral there. And I was so sad that I didn't get a chance to see it, but I was staying in this attic apartment that faced the cathedral. In fact, it faced the tower bells. So every hour on the hour that night, the bells rang, and I got no sleep. So I used that opportunity to Google Charlemagne, because I learned about Charlemagne in junior high, and I don't remember a thing about him except his name. So I started writing this song, and I kind of thought of it as my swan song, because there's a lot about it, about sort of what you leave behind. And then, much to my complete surprise, I was nominated for this award called the International Song of the Year from the Americana Music Association. And honestly, I had kind of decided that this would be my last record. And so it was a big award ceremony, a big red carpet thing that was happening, and in London. And I brought my mother as my date, and I wore a spectacularly stupid, weird outfit. I actually borrowed it from Dolly Parton's closet. It's a long story. They had to take it out for me, and it took a lot of Spanx to wear it. But it was black and white striped sequins that zipped up like a jumpsuit, so I looked sort of like a cross between Evel Knievel and Beetlejuice. But I kind of thought if I didn't win the award, at least I'd look pretty good in the press. And we were there with Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick Stewart, and I got to sit next to Martin Freeman, the actor who played the Hobbit, and Watson, to Benedict Cumberbatch's, I can't say his name, Sherlock Holmes, and it was just really spectacular. So they announced the award, and they announced that I won, which was super thrilling to me, but I hadn't taken a breath in about 3 hours. And I had to walk up the stairs of this big, long theater, this huge theater filled with people in this spectacular place, and stand up and get this award. And as I got the award, I took a big, deep breath, and I heard, I had to get it tailored before I brought it back to Dolly Parton's closet, I'll just say that. But this is the song, and it did win that award that year, and I did not decide to quit after that. So this is called Me and the Ghost of Charlemagne. And thank you all so much for being here. What a spectacular night. On the western edge of Germany, where the emperor lived and died, the tower bells cut through the quiet of the early evening sky. They say his body's buried here. I could see the bones, but I've had enough of castles. They're just cold and made of stone. I'm out here on my own, trying to keep this thing on track. Every day I quit this job, by night I take it back. Well, I've got a few more minutes in this tiny room off stage before it's me and the ghost of Charlemagne. Then I'll sneak out through the back after the after party starts. I'll be too tired after 2 sets to be safe near any bar, and all these surface conversations in a language not my own reminds me how far away I am from any home. Although tonight out there I felt close to the flame, by morning I'll be hauling luggage through the rain. Though it's rental cars and chain motels, cafes with clever names, some nights it's me and the ghost of Charlemagne. We all want to leave behind a thing that says that we were here before we died. Something more than just a castle in the air. So we dare. You know, the moment when the dreamer meets the dream and it's alive. After years of climbing up, I see it's just the same damn sky, and the clouds that kings have pondered, oh, they look a lot like mine. We dream because we know that we're running out of time, and we're carpenters hammering at nails, building arcs, chasing after whales, tilting at windmills, hunting the grail. These little rhymes and relics, may they live beyond my name, 'cause in the end they're all that will remain of me and the ghost of Charlemagne.
Thank you, Amy. Amy Speace. Wow, what a great evening this has been, hasn't it? Absolutely, absolutely. But, like all good things, we have to wrap it up. I want to thank our artists this evening, Joe Crookston, Ed Gerhard, and Amy Speace. Thank you all for your fantastic performances. Radio Live is a production of WUWF Public Media at the University of West Florida. Our technical director is Dale Regal. Our broadcast mixmaster tonight is Joe Vincenza. Our house sound is engineered by the amazing Tom Skinner. Indeed. Master Control this evening is being masterfully controlled by Bob Barrett. Our videographers are Teresa Clark, Chuck Dunlop, and Jenny McKeon. Our video director is Quentin Williams. Our house manager is Trish Allison. Our photographer and production assistant tonight is Anthony Potts. Our stage manager is everybody's favorite Jewish mother, Enid Siskin. As you leave tonight, remember to keep your eyes on the road, your heart on the coast, and your mind on public media. Good night. See you next month.
Radio Live is made possible with support from Autumn Beck Blackledge, attorneys of divorce and family law, offering resolutions to complex family issues. Support also comes from Kevin Ryan, financial advisor at Merrill Lynch in downtown Pensacola, with advice for what matters most when you need it most. Details available by Googling Kevin Ryan, Merrill Lynch. Accommodations for Radio Live artists provided by PensacolaBeach.com, an all-in-one website for all things Pensacola Beach. To review rates on hotels, book tours and activities, see upcoming events, and view the latest beach report, visit PensacolaBeach.com.